this is Ada Boulay, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And for people who are confused about what it means to love one another, it does not mean that you're supposed to let people take advantage of you, or that you're supposed to go along with anything that somebody does. Love for humanity means that you're not going to do anything to hurt them, and it does mean trying to uplift humanity, but it doesn't mean putting up with poor behavior or insensitive behavior. Google love and see what it says. Okay, everybody, so I guess we all know by now that we witnessed the best Negro wake-up call of the year in the state of Kentucky last night when Daniel Cameron, who was running for governor of Kentucky, lost his bid to a Democrat. Kentucky is a red state. He was running as a Republican in a red state, and he lost to a Democrat, a popular Democrat, who was already the governor of Kentucky. But he let people fool him into thinking that he could win a statewide election against a popular white man whose family had been in Kentucky politics for years. So he got the wake-up call because he played the fool in the Breonna Taylor case. When the Louisville police violated Breonna Taylor, they should have been charged for what they did. Instead, they decided to play politics, went and dragged Daniel Cameron out from under a rock and made him the Attorney General of Kentucky. Daniel Cameron was well connected because he had worked as a law clerk for Mitch McConnell, the minority leader now in the United States Senate. So as the Attorney General, he could have appointed a special prosecutor to come in and investigate what had happened to Breonna Taylor, because being the Attorney General of the state, there will be some sense of partiality for the Louisville police. Instead of him appointing a special prosecutor, he appointed himself special prosecutor and brought no charges against those police officers. And if it hadn't been for advocacy from people like Tamika Mallory, those police officers would have gone free. But Daniel Cameron now had the top prosecutor position in the state of Kentucky, which should be a powerful position, but it's not if you're a black man. And the way these things generally work, somebody promised him that he could go far in Kentucky politics if he did not prosecute those police officers. It worked in the short term, but in the long run it didn't work, because they did get charged with violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights and other crimes. They have federal charges on them for what they did to her. So since the state wouldn't charge them, the federal government did. But Daniel Cameron was riding the high wave of power. He let these people off, and I'm sure they promised him that, they were going to support him and back him for governor of Kentucky, and I'm sure they did. The ones who promised, but that wasn't enough. The people had to vote for him, and some did, but not enough of them did it to win. But this is an interview that he did before the election. I started to do this video a few days ago, but I said I'm going to wait and see how this election turns out. And this is what's being written about Daniel Cameron. As he competes against incumbent Democrat Andy Beshear for Kentucky's governorship, Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron has stood in opposition to affirmative action, diversity, equity initiatives, and required anti-bias training. So anything that was designed to help black people, he has stood against it. Jesse Waters of Fox News recently interviewed Daniel Cameron. During this interview, Cameron told a national audience that he would not stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives if elected Kentucky's governor. Now he's pandering to white people. He was telling them that if he was elected governor, he wouldn't do anything to advance racial justice in Kentucky. He said he would stand against diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Those things are designed to create an even playing field for black people, and he's promising to stand against them. On the show, Cameron referred to the U.S. Supreme Court's recent decision against race-based college admissions programs as saying that private companies and public entities shouldn't be able to discriminate on the basis of race to level the playing field for historically marginalized groups. You would think he wasn't even black. What he was saying is they shouldn't take any measures to level the playing field because of historical wrongs that was done to marginalized groups, talking about black people. And then he said, Kentucky should be a place where everyone can succeed, not just those who were born on third base or check a DEI box. It sounds like what he's saying is the people who are checking the DEI box, meaning the people who have been discriminated against in the past, should be competing with people who were born on third base, and that nothing should be done to level the playing field. So, this guy's a real piece of work. Cameron has not specified any specific legislation or policies he would implement to limit DEI efforts or affirmative action programs. No, because he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's got to wait till somebody tells him what he's going to do. I never thought I could win this race because I'm black, Cameron said. What I thought, and what I continue to think, is that people here in Kentucky care about your values and they care about your work ethic. So when he was asked if Kentucky is ready for its first black governor, he said he believes skin color doesn't matter to Kentuckians. Well, apparently it does. I think Kentucky is ready to elect somebody that reflects their values. And I happen to be black, Cameron said. I would be honored to be the first black American to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I bet he would. And so a professor at the University of Louisville said that Daniel Cameron is trying to appeal to his conservative base by going after diversity and equity initiatives, which are part of a larger pushback against perceived woke culture. So woke culture has to do with black people speaking up against discrimination and inequality. So Daniel Cameron went on the circuit trying to convince white people that they are not racist and that he's not going to do anything to make them feel like they're racist. And he is definitely not going to do anything to help black people. Now that should have worked, except that when he was in debate, he came across that he didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't know anything. All he could do is speak on anti-black issues, what he was not going to do for black people. And then came the election. They had him thinking that they were neck and neck in the polls, then that he had just as good a chance of winning as this white man. So actually, Daniel Cameron probably would have had a better shot at it had it not been for this woman right here, Tamika Mallory. Remember, Tamika Mallory and her organization camped out in Louisville when everything went down concerning Breonna Taylor. Her organization was trying to pressure the grand jury attorney general, who was Daniel Cameron, into charging those policemen. He wouldn't do it. The only police officer that was charged with a minor incident was the one that they were out there shooting all around that apartment, and they shot into somebody else's house that had nothing to do with whatever they were looking for at Breonna Taylor's house. And that police officer hit the wall or hit somebody else's apartment, and he was charged for that. But the ones who actually committed the act did not get charged. Daniel Cameron appointed himself special prosecutor and made the decision that those police officers would not be charged. Tamika Mallory told the people of America and Breonna Taylor's family that she was going to stay there and see it through. So originally those police officers were not charged. She stayed there. They kept protesting. They stayed in Louisville. They made nuisances of themselves until those police officers were charged. And then when Daniel Cameron decided he was going to run for governor, she said, "Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. We're going to stay here and make sure that you don't win." So I heard an interview that Roland Martin did with her this morning. And she said they canvassed the state of Kentucky. They were passing out boxes of food, and they were registering people to vote, and they were talking to black people mostly about the issues. They discovered that 1 in 3 black men in Kentucky couldn't vote. When they set a trap for you, you walk into the trap, then you go to jail, you do your time, and you pay back your debt to society, and then you come out of jail, and they've taken away your right to vote. So she got 200,000 black men reinstated so they could vote. And they turned out, and they turned up. And at the end of the day, Daniel Cameron lost. He got the wake-up call of the year. In the past, when black people would run for political office, we would all be on board. We wanted them to win. We were proud of them winning. But now, we see so many black people thinking that they're in the package. They don't need black people. All they need to do is ingratiate themselves with some conservative white people, and those conservative white people are going to bring them across the finish line. Well, it didn't happen this time. And he got the granddaddy of all wake-up calls. And I, for one, am not sad, because it's clear that he is selling out, going and coming, trying to get ahead. They even gave him a Becky for a wife, and now they've got a Becky-like baby. So he's going the whole hog. And at this point, I think every time he tries to do something, Breonna Taylor's name is going to come up, because he really did not do the right thing. And so he's got to live with those consequences. He is in the club of black people who desperately want to believe that there is no racism, because that's what the white people that they hang out with tell them. There is no racism, Daniel. All these colored people that are out here complaining about racism, they just need to be more like you. They need to be clean, and they need to stop listening to all that rap music that's making them hate white people. They just need to be good Christians. And then all you've got to do is jump Jim Crow. Say what they want you to say. Laugh when nothing is funny. Scratch when nothing is itching. And you've got it made. But he woke up this morning to a different reality. The people of Kentucky did not see fit to elect him governor of their state. And I, for one, think that they made a good decision. But let me know what you think. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the video. And as always, have a great day.